Hi Intermediate, welcome back. This will be the third and final video of showing you quadratic formulas, how to solve by the quadratic formula. And then next class you'll see more examples of the different techniques, the quadratic, the factoring, and the square root method. You'll see that they're blended all together. So today's goal is really just to expose you to seeing how to do the quadratic formula, but we will be coming back to this concept again in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, so we are going to do this by the quadratic formula, but it is right now the formatting of this needs to be fixed. We do not want any fractions, and we need to set this equal to 0. I'm going to start with the LCD, which is 4, and I'm going to use that to get rid of the fractions. I'm going to multiply everybody by 4 to get rid of the fractions. So the 4 and 4 reduce here, and I'm left with 3n squared. 4 times 2 is 8. The 4 and the 2 reduce to make a 2. 2 times 1 is 2n. That step got rid of the fractions. Now this step is to set it equal to 0, which means I'm going to move this over. That gets rid of it on the right side. And now we can go ahead and use the quadratic formula to solve this. A is 3, B is -2, C is 8. I'll plug in the values. So in -2, -2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 8. Let me just make sure I got that. -4 times 3 times 8, okay? Over 2 times 3. Let's start to simplify this. So double negative here makes a positive. The 2 and the negative will be squared, so that's a 4. These are all multiplied together, so it's a negative times a positive, which is a negative. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 8 is 96. All over 6. Keep working on that radical until it's done, or as far as it can go. -92 when we add this, and again we are in complex numbers. Let's look at 92 as a number. 2 goes into 92, let's see, that would be 46 times. 2 goes into 46 23 times, and 23 is a prime, so okay. So how we'll break this down is you've got a -1 and 2, 2, and so 92 is equal to 2 times 2 times 23, which is the same thing as saying 4 times 23. So 4 is the perfect square. I'm breaking down 92 into its perfect and non-perfect parts, and also I'm making the -1 stand out, so you recognize that that's a complex number, right? Because I equals to the -1 under the radical. Okay, I think I might have to sneeze at some point here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so -1 under the radical comes out as an I. The square root of 4 is 2. The 23 stays under. X equals to 2 plus or minus, bring the stuff that came out to the front, 2i radical 23 all over 6 So bring out the stuff that came out, pull it to the front of the radical. Don't flip it over the plus or minus sign. Make sure you keep this all squeezed together. Make sure your fraction's in lowest form. So I'm going to factor out a 2 from the real parts, from the front parts. You can put a 1 here if it helps you. Okay, reduce the 2 and the 6. And that's fine. You can leave it like that. You can also break it up as a complex number, which is also nice, but it's fine if you leave it like that. By the way, just so you know, if for some reason when you're simplifying the quadratic formula, like let's say you're simplifying and it comes out to be something like, I'm just making something up, okay? And by the way, never reduce over a plus or minus. This is always wrong. If for some reason what's under the radical is a perfect square, just make sure you go all the way with it, okay? So let's say the radical totally goes away. You have to finish simplifying it completely. So this is giving you 2 versions, right? And then this would give me 5 over 2, and this would give me negative 1 over 2. So again, if the radical completely goes away, just please make sure you go all the way to the end, because that means it's going to give you 2 numbers. That also means that it could have been done by the factoring method as well. But we're choosing to do the quadratic formula in this section just so we can get used to how it's done. Okay, gang, that's it for today's lecture. Have a fantastic Wednesday. I'll catch you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.